Welcome back to the fourth and final part of my Priory the Orange Tree review. In this part, I'm going to talk about my takeaways about this book and why I think this book is so popular. So I think I'm going to just handle my personal takeaways first. I definitely thought going in this would be the book I had the highest chance of liking, and I was correct. High fantasy is right up my alley. I think the blend between romance and the storyline was really well done. This book had so much more diversity than some of the other books, barring, of course, like Cinderella's Dead. And I really enjoyed it. This book beautifully handled grief, themes I'm really interested in as a whole. I'm a sucker for a dragon book, I'm going to be quite honest. And in general, while I sometimes struggle to get into high fantasy, when I get into a high fantasy book, it will consume me. And I think Priory the Orange Tree is a good example of that. I'm also definitely interested in more in Samantha Shannon's work, and I definitely think I'll read more by her. And yes, while it was definitely a thick book that had a lot going on, I expected myself to kind of fall into a rabbit hole of nonstop reading, and I was correct. This was the book I was most likely to think I would like, and I'm very happy that I did end up liking it. So as to why I think this book was so popular, it's a prominent sapphic story with dragons and fantasy that a lot of people are going to adore, especially with the resurgence of adult romance fantasy and YA fantasy. I mean, beyond the obvious appeal of dragons, I definitely think that what the romance is built on, the whole handmaiden and queen trope, is going to be incredibly popular. You know, the whole sworn to protect her, but I fell in love with her instead, is absolutely going to be very popular. And just the sheer drama of this book leading up to the very conclusion and the ambiguous ending it leaves is going to be very popular with a large amount of people. And also just how well integrated the queer storylines are, and just how unapologetically queer this fantasy book is going to appeal to a large queer audience. And while unlike some of the other books in this list, this book does handle some heavier themes, it's not like an overtly depressing book that's going to drive away a large portion of people. It's very much more in that adventurous, not necessarily fun, but like uplifting, dramatic mood at oftentimes. It's a fun and interesting fantasy, which is going to appeal a lot of people, especially when you add the sapphic element onto it. So after this video goes up in the next day or so, I'll be posting kind of my overall thoughts about the series I did as a whole, the books I've read, and kind of what that's told me about Book Talk Spaces. I'll also have like my final ranking of the books, which don't take it that seriously. Kind of what I hope to take about this series into the new year. But thanks y'all for joining me in this series.